What's happening, folks? Welcome back to Celtic Fans TV. It's time for the live starting 11 prediction for tomorrow's game in Hungary against Ferencvaros. As I say, this video is live. I know some of you are still filtering in. You can ask your questions and get your comments in the live chat box below. What changes do you want to see to the team for tomorrow after Saturday's 0-0 draw against Livingston? Let us know in the comments below. That game on Saturday was really poor. To be honest, I think the manager probably got the team selection wrong, but over the course of the game we should still have been able to have enough to beat Livingston. They're a real bogey team for us. I think that's 3 0-0 draws at Celtic Park since they come back into the league, and obviously our record through there is terrible as well. So Livingston causes real problems. There's absolutely no getting away for that. We've got to play much better in this game tomorrow. It is a massive game for us. We beat them in the home game, but I think if we're going to have any chances of progressing in this group, particularly the way the result went between Betis and Leverkusen in match day 3, we've got to win this one to be in any shout of qualifying. I think if we draw it or if we get beat, it is just a shootout between us and Ferencvaros for third place and a place in the Conference League. Ferencvaros come into this one sitting second in their domestic league. Since they faced us a couple of weeks ago, they've had one draw. They had a massive 7-0 victory in the Cup, and they had a 2-0 away victory in the league at the weekend. So we know they're dangerous. We've seen them on a couple of occasions against Celtic already. We know they pose a threat at home. Obviously, last season we played them in a one-legged tie. This year we had the game at home, so we haven't played them in their own stadium yet. There will be home fans there tomorrow. The Celtic fans technically not allowed to attend, but I'm sure a lot of the people that have already travelled over there, the Celtic supporters will find their way in. There's no doubt about that, whether it be in the home end or through some other means. I'm sure there'll be Celtic supporters in there, and we'll need that. We'll need some sort of representation in there, because I expect the atmosphere to be relatively hostile. In terms of the team, I think Joe Hart will obviously start in goals. Didn't have a save to make at the weekend, but the problem was we didn't give the Livingston goalkeeper any saves to make either. I don't even count that penalty save as a save. I think MD at the stands could have saved it. At right back, Anthony Rouston, a new contract signed yesterday, obviously. I think he deserves it, Anthony Rouston. He's worked really hard. He has improved. He's proved a lot of people wrong, me included. I think we'd all sort of written off where he was at in terms of his Celtic career before this season, but he has made massive strides. He's improved a lot. I think going forward for where the club wants to get to, he's probably still going to be the second choice over the long term, but he's merited that new contract, and regardless of what happens, if we make any improvements at left back and Juranovic can come and play in his natural position at right back, I think Rouston deserves his place in the squad and to be a squad player that gets a good number of games now, because he's never really had that throughout the course of his Celtic career. Centre half, Cameron Carter-Vickers. Alongside him, I think it will be Stephen Welsh. I don't think there's any doubt. I know Beaton dropped back there when Starfelt went off at the weekend, but I think that was just because Ange didn't want to use all of his subs at once. We'll come to midfield in a second, but I think Welsh, he's been reliable when he's played, Stephen Welsh. We know that Starfelt and Carter-Vickers have been the first choice pairing so far. The club spent a lot of money on Starfelt, and he has started to come good. Disappointing to see him go off at the weekend. I don't think Julian is anywhere near ready. The manager's already said that he's probably going to be back in contention for game time after the next international break, so I don't think there's any chance of him starting here. So that'll be Carter-Vickers and Welsh. As a pairing, as I say, I think Stephen Welsh is reliable in that position, and we should be confident that he can come in and do a decent job for us tomorrow. At left back, I think it will be Juranovic again. I mean, I don't know what the options are there, but we've talked about this a lot. I think Juranovic is playing well in that position. I think he's a good player. There's no Bolingoli in the squad. I don't expect Scales to start, and Montgomery would probably a bit of a risk as well. So that will be the back four, I think. And midfield that's the tough one. That's a real weakness for us, midfield. I just don't know how we get a better balance when Tom Rogic is injured, because Callum McGregor is the ideal player to play in that deep position as the pivot in midfield, start the attacks, take the ball in the half turn, His range of passing's really good. His speed of play is really good. Contrast that to Beaton. You've seen at the weekend, much slower. But I just don't know what we do. Do you play McCarthy? I don't even know if McCarthy's fit and available. He's not been fit for most of the time he's been at Celtic so far, and I'd find it surprising if he was to come into this game and start. So I think it's got to be Beaton again in that deep position. Maybe away from home in Europe, that game will be more suited to Beaton. We don't have to play at 100 miles an hour the way we should have done at the weekend. The pace domestically at home has to be high all the time when we're playing against teams that are defending, but Ferencvaros have to win this game tomorrow, so they should come out and attack. And I think this season one of the things we've done really well is counter-attack, so that could suit us, and hopefully this game is more suited to Beaton. Obviously ideally it wouldn't be in starting 11, I know that, but we're so lacking in options in midfield. I just don't see any other choice for the manager. And in front of them it will obviously be Callum McGregor, the captain, alongside David Turnbull. I think McGregor, we know he likes to play in that 8 position. He wasn't really effective on Saturday though. Hopefully in this game again, if we're going to play in transition a lot and Ferencvaros are going to come out and attack us, then he can be integral in that. And Turnbull, again, European stage, he's got to try and put in a really high level of performance again. He was good at Easter Road last week, quieter on Saturday, but as I say, I think the first half an hour against Betis is the one European game that stands out where you think Turnbull really did well there. Faded later on in that game, but I think that the next challenge for David Turnbull is to really take these European games for Celtic, the bigger games, by the scruff of the neck. On the right hand side, Abada came back in at the weekend. Really disappointing again, Lil Abada. I was actually surprised that he started, but then Johnson came on in the second half and he was disappointing as well. So I think the manager's got to bring back in James Forrest. I know he's been out for a long time, James Forrest, but he's the best player in that position. He's the most experienced player in that position. I think if we've learned anything from Saturday, it's that you should probably play your best team. And if you have to take somebody off because they're tired, they need a rest, whatever it might be, then do that round about the hour mark or later than that, depending what the scoreline is, how you're positioned in the game. I think James Forrest is the best option to play in that position, and I think that's why the manager has to start him there tomorrow. On the left wing, Felipe Jotta, a massive player for us just now. Again, quieter at the weekend. I think the whole team creatively was really disappointed at the weekend. 85% possession, but only 2 shots on target. We've really got to be more aggressive from an attacking point of view. I think we didn't take enough risks at the weekend, but as I say again, if Ferencvaros are going to come out and attack in this game, that should suit us down to the ground because we've counter-attacked really well this season, particularly in the Europa League. And up top, Kyogo Furuhashi should have started at the weekend. I think that was the big decision that the manager got wrong. I don't think we're really in a position just now to be resting our best players in those league games, whether they're at home, regardless of who the opposition is. We've got to be winning at all costs domestically, particularly the home games. So I think to start Giakoumakis was a mistake because it suited Livingston's style, swinging crosses into a big physical striker. They just ate it up, and obviously we know about the penalty, but besides the point, I think his performance apart from that was really, really poor as well. So I think it'll be Furuhashi to lead the line. That's the team that I think the manager will go with. Comment with your own thoughts below. Would you make any changes to that? Do you think we should start with James Forrest, or would you maybe like to see Abada or Johnson start because Forrest's match fitness maybe isn't quite there yet? Like this video, as I say, comment your own thoughts below. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. We passed 32,000 at the weekend, so that's another good step on the ladder, another good milestone for us. We'll be back tomorrow from Malone's with the post-match pint and the Twitter reaction as well. So wherever you're watching the game tomorrow, enjoy it. I'm on the hoops.